Dragon Ball, horror, kaiju, and more. Steven's Toy Reviews.
Hey there, collectors. It's going to be Steven here, and welcome to a review of another Monster Hunter fun product. It's going to be a statue. Let me get the name right. Capcom Figure Builder Creators Model. I think that's the name of it. It's going to be a Fatalis statue from his appearance. We're going to give him the pronoun of he here. In Monster Hunter World Iceborne. All right. So Fatalis is a monster that is well known in the Monster Hunter community. One that pretty much everyone hopes is going to be in the next iteration of Monster Hunter. Doesn't even matter if it was in the previous release, just because Fatalis simply holds that ferocity in its name. Now, with that being said, whether it's going to be the original or Crimson or maybe a spin-off with Dire Morales, is this version of Fatalis worth adding onto your shelf? Because let's be real here, this is probably going to be the biggest and the meanest and the most accurate Fatalis product that we are going to have in modern day Monster Hunter collectibles. Well, let's take a look to see whether or not this $300 or so at MSRP statue is going to be worth adding into your collection. Alright, so first and foremost, normally I do a 360 spin view, so this way we get a good look at how the product looks at all angles. Unfortunately, due to size, there's no way that I'm able to do this, so we're going to jump right into the close-up shots of this figure, this statue, whichever you would prefer. It's a fixed figure, it's a statue. We'll talk about materials here in a second. So Fatalis, I would have to say, from the promo pics, had fantastic, beautiful blending and shading of all of the different paint applications, whereas in the final product, it definitely could be a bit better. There's some heavy-handed brushing here and there. Some of the transitions and the gradients are a little bit rough, especially when you factor in the price, which again is going to be about $300 or north thereof of MSRP, depending on where you're going to be picking this up. Put a pin in that, we will come back to that. Unfortunately, we're going to have to talk about that. But that being said, though, that doesn't mean that Fatalis looks bad. It just means that in terms of executing some of the finer details at the price point, they didn't necessarily do all that great of a job. But when it comes to the actual paint that is used, such as the mixture of the cream paint on the chest, which really does help bring out some purples to make it look really shiny, it looks fantastic. The quality controls, such as paint blobs or scratches, or even thinning of paints in some areas, that is not going to be the case here, so that is good. Eye paint looks just fine, no issues with flaky paint anywhere, which is good, and the actual paint or so forth on things like claws or horns or the like, where you may find that sort of thing on other dragon product, we're not really seeing that for Fatalis here, so kudos for the production team for making sure we didn't have some of the more so stereotypical issues that we may see with other product lines. Now, that being said, that's primarily talking about the main body, right? Because when we talk about the wings, which I actually think are going to be the main attractive feature of this particular statue, that pretty much is flipped on its head entirely when it comes to different shading and so forth. The wings, everything is integrated so wonderfully well on this product, and I think that they pretty much steal the show. The wings are fantastic, 9.5 out of 10, because I don't really think there's any such thing as a 10 out of 10 that I've had in the last 10 years that I've collected. But nevertheless, I do think that these huge, humongous wings, I said what I said, look really, really solid. And then I just kind of want to follow that up with, depending on where you're looking at for the spikes, all the way going down to the tail tip, they have varying quality. It changes depending on consistency of whether it is going to have a lot of paint for one particular spike or another. So that's going to kind of flip and flop between. Now, when it comes to the base that Fatalis is standing on, it kind of looks like a generic rubble base. We're not specifically able to say what it may or may not be. So take it or leave it for what you are a fan of. We know Fatalis is, from Castle Shrade and all that fun stuff. Maybe it's going to be from a particular battle arena from a different Monster Hunter game, but nevertheless, it's something that I want you to be aware of. I didn't take a picture of it. I did cover it in a live stream that I did a little while back, but the bottom, it's just a solid brown piece with screws in it. So there you go. Overall, I think Fatalis does look solid, but for some of the blending and the shading and so forth, I think it could have been tightened up at the MSRP that this thing was sold at. Now let's go ahead and move on over to a size comparison because this is a statue, it's not articulated, and you can see that this is going to be a big figure. Now when it comes to actual sizing and what this actually does scale well with, how big is Fatalis? Does it blend in with other Elder Dragons? I don't know. So for what I collect, I do have some SH Monster Arts action figures from Tamashii Nations, as well as some CCP vinyl figures for Monster Hunter stuff as well, and hopefully that is going to be a good waypoint for you to determining how big Fatalis is and whether or not you want to buy this. So buy now, skip, or wait for a deal. Pretty much at MSRP, again, depending on where you were looking to pick this up, there was about $100 fluctuation between $250 and $350 at MSRP. Yen can be a bitch like that. And then, reasonably speaking, some retailers sold it for $350 shipped, and the box was huge for this thing, and it all shipped in one piece. You can see some seam lines on this, which I don't really think are worth mentioning too much, unless you really are bothered by seams, which, I don't know, that's back to you. Nevertheless, point being, Fatalis is rather expensive at MSRP, and detail is rather fine. That being said, though, sort of at the top, like I said, this is going to be one of the only Fatalis product that not only is on the market to begin with, but also pretty much in existence, and with the collecting boom that has recently happened, I think they did 2 production runs, and there's no word if they're going to do another, and prices on the aftermarket have shot up to like $500. Just checking on eBay before recording this, that's kind of where we're at, and you may say, well, eBay isn't the end-all be-all of sales. It's kind of a good metric for the market when no retailer has it in stock. Or a Japanese site does, and they're charging like $300, and it's going to be another $100 for shipping, so I mean, choice is yours. So if you do happen to see this for a good deal and you do want to pick it up, jump on it before you can't. Hey collectors, that's going to wrap up the video today. And as always, thanks for watching, commenting, sharing, subbing. It all helps. I always enjoy responding to comments, so be sure to drop one down below and I will respond if I can. I do have supporters on Patreon as well, and each review gets an end card to show who is supporting each month, so here are the end cards. Camera batteries, SD cards, even hard drives. It's not possible without that support, so thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Here's the final end card, so this way you can click subscribe, check out another video, or even check out the social media outlets. You know you want to. Before we end today, as in the description, there may be paid ad space, affiliate links, or product samples that were sent out in this video, so please check out the STR ad disclosure. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch ya in the next video.